Welcome to Popcorn Planet.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Steph, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and I am taking over this Sunday evening for Popcorn Planet Pop Culture Justice special live stream whilst Andy is away on holiday this weekend. However, I have my trusty cohort with me. It's Kim is in the house. Hey up.
Hello.
How are you doing, lads?
I'm okay. Dealing with internet being a little silly. Gonna do our best to get through today. But thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Let's tear this apart.
Oh, excited. I'm nervous, guys. It's an interview, guys. It's gonna be an adventure. Let's put it this way. Before we jump in though, just to make sure that I'm being a professional-ish YouTuber of the world, if you haven't done so already and you love pop culture justice on the daily, make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell to all, give this video a good old-fashioned like and leave a comment down below. And also as well, if you want some extra bonus content from the man himself, Andy Signor, consider becoming a Popcorn Planeteer member today for as little as $5.99 a month. Shall we see if we can achieve our usual goal of 5 new members this stream? Let's go. Who is going to destroy that join button for us? Time will certainly tell. In the meantime, let's jump right into this interview, guys. So the way that it's gonna go down is we're gonna be watching it. This is an edited version that's been edited and transformative for fair use, mind you. So please do bear that in mind. We're going to play a little bit, we're going to provide our commentary, and that's just how it's going to work because, hello, fair use, guys. And I cannot say fair use enough. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. All right. So just to put on a solo cam here, YouTube human reviewer, I see you working. This is all fair use and completely transformative material. Because guess what? I did it myself. So there you go on that score. Anyways, let's go. Oof, here we go. For the first part of our commentary, here we go. So, So there, in terms of the first part of the interview, they set it up whereby everything's normal. Everything's Gucci, right? They have, it looks like a family in LA that has a normal life to everyone else. They're doing the chores, they're sorting out the dogs, the kids are playing out, having fun. However, they're slightly special. There's something different about them and all that malarkey. Now, when you first started watching this interview and you saw this kind of introduction, how did it make you feel, like, kind of going into it?
I feel like they're trying to paint a picture of something that isn't really there. I understand that it's, that they want to have a fairly normal life, that there seems to be a very big effort to protect the kids, which I mean, very good for all 6 of them. That's the way that it should be. But this is never going to be a normal household. This is never going to be a normal life. So they can try, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You can try to be a normal household, but it ain't gonna happen. And there's a bit that K-Fed says later on that I absolutely have. Like, it just makes me incensed, and we're going to get there in a moment. Before we do so, though, Tristan King, thank you so much for the $5 super chat for Andy. Woo woo! Saying, love you guys, love the community, messaged y'all a while back, no big deal. I just know that I love and support all that you all do. I admire how real you are. Well, thank you so much, Tristan, for supporting Andy whilst he's away. Really appreciate your face, hon. And just to kind of make you aware, guys, if you ever do message us and you DM us, we don't have time to be able to respond back to you because, you know, for me in particular, for Kim, you know, we do have day jobs away from YouTube. So we just really don't have the time to be able to respond back to a lot of you, but do be aware that we read every single DM that you send us, and every message that you leave below our videos, we do read them. So, you know, thank you so much for the support. You guys are freaking amazing. And Matt Bond Music Studio, thank you so much for the $2 super chat and being, I would like to say, the MVP for today's stream. Thank you very much for sorting us out, mate. Really appreciate your face. Yes. Hail to Matt Bond Music Studio. But let's carry on with this interview, with this next part that we're going to play now.
Nobody can prepare you for anything like what I've been through, you know? I mean, nobody, but to me, I had a job to do, and that was my kids.
Okay, so there he's basically saying, at this point, I had a job to do. My kids. Kim, reaction?
I don't know. I just kind of feel like, isn't that kind of just like the bare minimum? You know, like, I'm a father. My job is to protect my kids. I've been busy. Like, what?
Do you know?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, yeah, protect your kids. But guess what? Part of protecting your kids, right, is making sure that they have a healthy relationship with the mother. And what happened to that, right? Like, dude! Like, oh my goodness, it's so freaking frustrating how, to me, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, he is hiding behind the status of fatherhood for all his inadequacies and the mistakes that he's made during this conservatorship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Charity Griffiths has been a member for 4 months. Thank you so much for your continued support for the Popcorn Planeteer team. Saying, yes, girls, good to have you guys on a Sunday. K-Fed needs to do one. Love you both. You're not getting any arguments from me. I can tell you that right now. Also, as well, oh my goodness, Shelley Fitzgerald has been a member for 7 months for the Popcorn Planeteer team. Thank you very much. Saying he's a failure as a father. In certain respects, yes. Yeah, totally. But let's get on to the next part of this interview. So here, they state that for Kevin, the biggest thing that gives him happiness is being a father to his children, but it hasn't been easy. Now, this whole programme then explains that he shares Sean's and Jayden's upbringing with Britney, but to make their lives as normal as possible, Kim, as normal as possible, he decided off his own back to step away from the light of fame 15 years ago. Yeah, totally decided. You know, do you know what? I'm going to be so altruistic here. I'm going to do it for the kids. I'm going to step away from fame. I'm going to step away from my burgeoning rap career and the success of Popo Zao. And I'm going to just step away from limelight and be there for my kids. Kim?
Okay, I think something that's really important as we go into this interview to remember is that so much of the dialogue that we have heard from quote unquote Team Con has just been straight up gaslighting. And I feel like this is a perfect example of, in my opinion, what is just another lie. Kevin says he stepped away from the limelight 15 years ago. That is not correct. Okay, so just to start with, so that would have been 2007, 2008, right?
Yeah.
Now, he actually played a cameo role in one of the American Pie spinoffs in 2009, and then proceeded to go on 2 reality shows for weight loss, which was the Celebrity Fit Club, their 7th and final season. It was canceled after his season, Boot Camp 2, and then went on the show Access Baggage in 2012, which also was canceled and actually had to move networks from where it started because the result, like the ratings of the show were so bad, they moved it somewhere else. And then it was not renewed for another season. He then also put out music in 2016. He put out another song called Hollywood, and then he was featured in another song in 2016 on somebody else's record. And throughout all of these years, there had been rumors originally in the late 2000s of him joining the cast of One Tree Hill and also potentially becoming a WWE celebrity. Both of those didn't tune out. So my question is did he actually choose to go into, not be famous anymore? Or was it that the music, the acting, the reality shows, everything he touched just failed? So he disappeared. And I mean, the man made minimum $240,000 US a year for being a father to his own children before he had to do any work whatsoever. So yeah, I guess that was his gig. Oh my God.
And this is why, right, I'm kind of like, yeah, he totally chose to step away from limelight, guys. It was totally an altruistic decision and move on his part. Not that, all his attempts for superstardom freaking failed. Oh, no. He chose to step away. He wasn't pushed. No, he chose to step away. You freaking kidding me? I'm calling BS on that one. We're exposing his lies, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, but totally calling BS on that one, guys. Before we get on to the next part, Nick Wilson, thank you so much for the £2 super chat for Andy saying, hi, you two. I need this distraction. Has got pre-op tomorrow. Well, I hope it all goes well for you, Nick. Take care. Good luck, mate. Jessica Tejada has become a Popcorn Planeteer member. Yes. We've got our first new member of the stream. We need 4 more to hit our target. Who else is going to destroy that join button? Let's go. Let's find out. And Candice Neathling, woo! Thank you for being a member and supporting Andy for 4 months as a Popcorn Planeteer, saying, I'm so glad it's the girl team tonight. A lot of people are parents and still have jobs. Yeah. Do you know what? Right? I've got a theory, conspiracy. No. I've got an opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, okay, situation here. And let me tell you this. Kevin Federline does have a job. Do you know what his job is, guys? It's mooching off of Britney Spears' own money. That's what his job is. It's full-time. Takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Oh, yeah, to be able to do that, takes a lot of effort and energy, absolutely. I mean, look at him. Balloon size of a freaking elephant, he's a lot of energy, guys. And oh my goodness, my friend Seekers, hey up, honey. Welcome to the Popcorn Planeteer team membership. Yes, now we've got 2 new members. We need 3 more to hit our target today of 5. Who else is going to destroy that join button? We shall soon find out. With that being said, let's carry on with this interview that again is free use and transformative for fair use purposes. So there we go. And It's Kim has frozen right now, but we shall carry on until she unfreezes. Although at least she's not unfrozen in like an unfortunate position there. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you look at her there, and you know, she's still looking all, you know, beautiful and tight. I mean, it's a nice little pose there. So, you know, not bad. Although it kind of, okay, I'm sorry, lass, but I gotta say, it reminds me of, you know, when, I don't know if you guys had it right, was told this, but I was always told, right, oh, there we go. I was always told, right, that if I ever fired, right, and I had like a really, really bad expression on like that, I was always told, you know what, you fart and you have a really awful expression like that, it'll stay that way for life. I don't know why my mind's just gone there, but it has. So there you go. It's out on the internet now, out in the world. Do with it as you will. In the meantime, let me just see if, yeah. So let's play this and see what else K-Fed has to say about this whole situation. Oh my goodness, what a freaking joke.
What happened to you? You disappeared.
Yeah, I think it was probably the best decision that I've made. And one of the best.
As we've just debunked, disappeared my freaking backside.
Decisions I've made in my life.
But now, Kevin, or K-Fed as he used to be known, wants to talk to the world. And a few weeks ago, he invited celebrity interviewer Daphne Barak into his home. He said it was time to explain how he and the boys have fared through the ups and downs of Britney's turbulent life.
Keeping my boys safe and making sure that they have a relationship with their mother and the rest of the family, that's what my role has specifically been in, you know, for me, for myself. Like, I can wake up every day and live with myself knowing that that is what I've been trying to do for the last 15 years.
Okay. So he can sleep easy at night, right, guys? Because his whole focus was making sure that the boys still had a healthy relationship with Britney Spears, with their mother. And he knows that he can sleep well at night because that's what his one of his focuses has been, right? Okay. All right. However, they're not seeing the mother now, are they? Right? Why is that? Yeah? At the end of the day, for me, it's like, if that's gonna be one of your focuses, right? Why haven't the boys seen the mother for months? Right? You should be encouraging them. But it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, what are you guys thinking to this interview so far? Let me know. Let's see what you guys are saying so far. Angel Niki has been a Popcorn Planeteer for 6 months. Woo! Saying, hey, Steph, thank you for going live to watch this human garbage, Kevin. Nice to see both of you. It's Kim and Steph. Oh, well, lovely, lovely, lovely to see you too, Angel Nikki. Really, really appreciate your face. What else are you guys saying? Stephanie says, why can he get away with being a lazy bare minimum dad, but tables turned and Britney looked him OMG, the world would turn over on its axis. And Christy be like, what are you going to do when she doesn't have to pay child support anymore? It's only in a few more years. Oh, you can go get his illustrious career back. Yeah, because those child support payments are going to age out in the next 2 years. What's he going to do then? And he says the focus has always been for them to have a healthy relationship with their mum, this, that, and the other. Well, hang on a minute. They used to have 50-50 custody, all right, until a few years ago when they went back to court, and then it went to 70-30 in his favour. I'm sorry, but how is that fostering a healthy relationship between the mother and her sons when you've literally reduced the amount of time she has access to her sons? Like, are you absolutely shizzing me here? This is absolutely insane. And then again, the whole thing about fostering this healthy relationship between the boys and Britney Spears, the mother, why are you allowing your sons to speak out to the world about their mother like this? When a couple of years ago, I think it was Jayden that spoke out against Big Jamie because of the altercation they then had at that point. And then he turns round and he then says, you know what, back then I regret what I said. Because you know what, Big Jamie actually had Britney Spears' interests at heart. Do you not think that it is a distinct possibility, knowing that in a couple of freaking years' time, Jayden is then going to regret doing this interview? But oh, no. One of the main focuses is all about making sure the Okay, I think we're back now.
I hope so.
Okay, I think we're back now. Yeah, we are totally back now. Yeah, we're back. All right. So basically, I was just going off on a rant against K-Fed, basically turning around and saying, to me, I'm calling BS on the whole, making sure that, you know, Britney's relationship with the sons are all kosher, this, that, and the other, because in a nutshell, they had 50-50 custody until a couple of years back when it actually then changed to 70-30 in his favour. So reducing the time she has with her boys, how is that completely creating a healthy relationship between the boys and her mother? Completely calling BS on that one. Absolutely freaking insane. Also as well, before we bring Kim back into the fray, Albus, Alien Slayer Dumbledore, hey up me mate, saying hello good people of YouTube. Hello back. Hi Nicole, are you here? Please let me know. It's 2:20 a.m. here. I don't know. I haven't seen Nicole about in the chat. But who else is in? Natasha Richardson's here though. Her money should go to her kids only, not him. You'd hope that'd be the case, but my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, probably not. Let's see what else is going on. Megan says the video feed is quiet when you're playing it. Your girl's volume is fine, but the video is quiet, I feel like. No, I can do about that. You're just going to have to turn it up when the video's playing. There's nothing I can do about that. I've had some audio troubles before this stream. It's the best it's going to be for you. That's it, right? That's it. Sorry, guys. There was a lot of stress before this stream. J-Bone, thank you so much for that super chat. Saying the human garbage even looks like human garbage. You're not going to get any arguments from me on that one. Let's see. Snoopy says that dude is super scummy. Absolutely agree. Nicole is in the chat. Hey up, Nicole. Who else have we got? Sandra says, I cannot wait for the child support payments to stop. That'll be interesting, won't it? And Heather Higgs has been a member for 12 months. Woo! A full year as a Popcorn Planeteer. Thank you so much for your continued support for Andy. Saying thank you for covering this. I didn't want to support the interview. I knew I could count on y'all. Oh, yeah. You knew it. You knew it.
We gotcha.
And Marcella. Oh, hey up, my friend. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat for Andy with the star and the hearts. Oh, star and hearts back, my friend. Thank you so much for your wonderful support this week with the DMs with me and listening to me and my whole mess. But we have Kim back. Yes, no more stalling. She's here.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I think there's a storm coming in where we are, and I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. So I'm very sorry, but we're gonna do our best. We're just gonna keep going. That's life. What are you gonna do?
And like I haven't streamed before, so we're Gucci. Righty-ho. So let's carry on with this interview. So this bit here And just to I'll be sharing the link to this video in a moment. It's on my channel. I've edited and completely transformed the interview for fair use purposes, as you can appreciate, so do bear that in mind. But you can watch the full what I've edited in full, uninterrupted, on my own channel, Steph the Alter Nerd. If there are any mods out there, if you can share the link and the little blurb that I put in the Telegram, please do so. If not, I'll be doing that in a moment. But here it says, they state that Kevin Federline's life has come a long way since they first met. Britney says here, I needed some companionship, and for some reason I couldn't get this guy out of my head that I'd met. Kevin says it was impossible to tell who was the more smitten. So it's Kim, our resident Britney expert. So I can stop talking out of my backside now because you're here. What do you know about the situation with Kevin and Britney meeting and how it all developed? Like, what do you know?
Well, I think if we're gonna go by what we saw, I mean, Kevin and Brittany, when they got together, Brittany decided that she wanted to do a reality show where she just showed the camcorder footage that she had taken between herself and Kevin, because they wanted to have a word or basically have something to do with the narrative that the press was putting out about what they were at the time. With what Kevin said of it was hard to tell who was more smitten with who. I disagree with that assessment. I think it was very safe to say that Brittany was much more smitten with Kevin than he was with her, based on the footage that we could see in the reality show. Brittany turned her life upside down to include Kevin, and the two of them were inseparable at that time. And it was, I mean, she asked him to marry her. She really wanted to make it work, and I think that was part of why people really didn't like him at the time, because it was like she was trying so hard and he just seemed to be very like, cool, I get a car. Like, that was very much the vibe at the time of what we saw.
Okay. Well, before we get on to the next bit, more support for Andy whilst he's away. Thank you so much, you guys. Rosa has been a member for 5 months as a Popcorn Planeteer. Thank you so much. Saying this is nothing but a way to attempt to change the narrative on the conservative stroke Team Con and to emotionally manipulate Britney using her kids. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's Team Con's like final breath to try and still in a way control Britney without the conservatorship now. Do you get that vibe or something different? Like,
absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things we have to be, unfortunately, kind of pessimistic with, and this is speculation and allegedly and all that, because I can't, but court documents have alleged that the children were used regularly, basically as a carrot in front of Britney. That is like a quote from a legal document to get her to do what they wanted her to do. And I don't really see how much has changed. But the difference is now is that Britney is saying no more. I'm saying what I want to say and I'm doing what I want to do, regardless of whether or not people around me want me to or not.
Yeah. And Blue Babe 37 has become our 3rd new member for the stream. Welcome to the Popcorn Planeteer team. Let's go. Jacqueline Whiting has been a member of the Popcorn Planeteer team for the last 11 months.
You go, Jacqueline.
Woo, that's a long time. Thank you so much for your continued support for Andy. Fiona has been a Popcorn Planeteer for 2 months. Thank you so much for your continued support, hon. Saying love you guys. Oh, well. Love you too. Thank you so much, Fiona. That's very, very kind of you. If we scroll down a little bit more, Mosaic Maria, thank you so much for the $5 super chat for Andy, saying, hi, Steph Kim. The Britney train is over. Thank God I could not watch 60 minutes. No, so we're watching it for you, in a way. Using edited, transformative video for fair use purposes. Again, I cannot stress that enough. So there we go. But I've put the link in the chat. So if you want to watch the edited and the transformative for fair use video that we are using right now, you can head over to my channel. But I've also popped the link in the chat as well. Savannah May, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, saying, does anyone actually believe him? I feel like there's crickets right now. That I should have like a soundboard a la Andy and all of a sudden be like, crickets. That's my cricket sound. That's obviously not the sound, but you know what I mean. Moving swiftly on, Bernadette Lonefire, thank you so much for the $5 super chat for Andy, saying, you can tell he hasn't worked or worked out in forever. Wow, hashtag Team Britney. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I know those In-N-Out burgers are like thebomb.com. I had one when I was in Vegas. Oh, shiz the bed. When I go back to America, I'm going straight to In-N-Out burger and I'm getting one of those things again. It's freaking amazing. However, yeah, it looks like he might have had one too many. And I think he used to be a dancer back in the day. Who would have known, right? Mercedes Eels, though, woo, has become our 4th Popcorn Planeteer member for the stream. Yes! We now just need one more of you to smash that join button, completely kill it, so we can make our target of 5 new members today. Who's going to destroy that button, that join button? Who's going to join? Who's going to be the lucky number 5? We shall find out. In the meantime, let's go back to this interview and watch a little bit more and provide our commentary for fair use purposes. If anyone's doing the drinking game right now and doing a shot every time I say fair use, you're probably smashed by now. You're welcome.
Really liked anybody. I'm very picky and very weird. But we like Kevin. Kevin's really cute and very sweet. And he's cute. And he's cute and he's older and he's nice and he's a really, really good kisser.
So there was a little bit of like old school Britney video there, and I don't think you'll be able to hear much from that because she's speaking very softly and very quietly, but she's saying, this seems to be like at the beginning of meeting Kevin. Oh, he's sweet, he's cute, you know, he's really nice, you know, that kind of thing. She seems to be bowled over and very, very charmed by the whole K-Fed situation. I wonder how... Was there any, do you think, residual effect on the way that it played out with Justin Timberlake and how they split up there? Do you think that Britney was in a vulnerable position whereby then K-Fed all of a sudden entered the scene and it was like she latched onto him for dear life because she wanted someone to love her again? Or do you think she was completely over Justin Timberlake and was happy for a new relationship and it just grew organically and, you know, everything was fine? There's one thing that kind of, when I look back on it, shocks me is just the speed of it all. You know, it was like they'd met, then all of a sudden they were married, and then all of a sudden they're doing the chaotic MTV, what is it? What do they call them again?
The reality show?
Reality show, yeah. I wanted to say it virtual reality. Don't ask me why. Reality shows. Then, you know, who's the oldest? Because I get them mixed up. Sean Preston comes out.
Sean Preston.
First, and then Jayden second, within like a year of each other, and it's all boom, 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 boom. Very quick, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, Britney herself has stated that, she talked about it in For the Record, that she got married for the wrong reasons. That she definitely has struggled with feeling lonely. I think, too, after the whole fallout of what happened with Vegas, I think marriage was definitely on her mind, and it's something she wanted, and she wanted something that was going to last forever, and she wanted to be loved, and she wanted somebody in her corner that was going to help take care of her, and she wanted to have kids so badly. I mean, one of the biggest things in Britney's life has always been that she wanted to be a mom. She wanted to have a big family. She wanted to have a bunch of kids and be hanging out by the pool with them and just having a great time. And that's what she wanted. And I think she saw someone in Kevin that she thought she could do that with, and she went for it. And unfortunately, things turned out the way that they did.
Yeah. Well, before we get on to the next part, more support for Andy. Thank you so much. Keep it coming. Tinkler Tits McGee. Love it. Tinkler Tits McGee. Yes, absolutely. We ain't calming the tits down. No, we're tinkling the tits. Yes,
we are.
And
Let's
McGee
go.
them as well. That'll do for me. Says, fact, Lou Taylor funneled hundreds of millions of Britney's money to offshore accounts. Is that a fact?
It is alleged. There's definitely evidence to support it being a possibility. And I would not be surprised if it's something that Rosengard is working on right now.
Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. It is alleged. It is not fact. There is potential things out there that may suggest that it may be more than alleged, but it is not proven as fact. So we do not know for definite. It may be a complete lie, and it may not have happened at all. However, even we've seen, and she is one of my spirit animals, BJ, that surprise witness. Remember one of her streams, and it shows all of a sudden, like, Britney's money, and then it dropping by like 400-500 million or something along those lines. And it's like, where did that money go? Where did that money go?
Sorry, I'm having some trouble with my audio. I'm not sure what's going on. I apologize.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, so I'm going to carry on whilst Kim is fixing her technical issues. But yeah, Tinkler Tits McGee, loving the name. Thank you so much for the support for Andy. And Karen Mathers! Woo! Thank you so much for becoming a Popcorn Planeteer and being the 5th new member for the stream. Yes! We hit our target for today. Woo, 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 woo! Go on, Karen, you badass. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate that. Also, as well, Cherry Ann Woods has been a member for 2 months on the Popcorn Planeteer team. Thank you so much. Saying K-Fed is as paternal as my son's what donor? As her son's something donor. They don't deserve the title of dad. Love you, girls. Oh, well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Love you too, hon. And also, as well, Astral B, thank you so much for that 99 cent super chat. Really appreciate that, honey. Thank you so much for your continued support for Andy. That's absolutely amazing. And I'm seeing Albus doing his mod business. Thank you so much for sorting us out and looking after us. Really appreciate that. And we've got Kim back. Woo woo!
Yeah,
She's
sorry
back.
about that.
She's back.
I'm
All
back.
right, so let's go back to this interview then and play a little bit more. So I'm on 320, Kim.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, we're playing now.
You know, we listen to each other, we talk to each other, we tell jokes to each other. We did all the things that, you know, you do in a new relationship, but it was magnified by 100. So it was really different until it wasn't.
It was really different until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Like, I'm sorry, but, you know, what he was saying at that point, you know, it was wonderful, it was this, it was that. Okay, fine, you know, that's usually, you know, what happens on a new relationship. Everything's cool, everything's fine, you're talking to each other, you're having a good time. Of course it was going to be amplified by 100 because, dude, you're seeing freaking Britney Spears. Like, what are you to freaking expect, right? And everything that he was saying up until that point in that little segment, do you know what I don't have an issue with? Fair play. Fair play. However, it's that little knock at the end. Everything was great until it wasn't. Like, dude, do you realise that you're bad-mouthing your children's mother in front of freaking millions? In front of the world? Like, it was okay until it wasn't. Like, who the frick? Kim?
I mean, I feel like what he's referring to is that it was all great until it wasn't, as in she, filed for divorce. And he's always been like, I was totally blindsided and I had no idea that it was gonna happen. Except there were a lot of people that were saying that there was trouble. And even like People magazine reported that Britney's final straw with everything was that she had just had Jayden. It had been 3 weeks since she had Jayden. And Kevin was like, I'm going to go to Vegas and go party. Bye. And just like left her with the baby. And this had been like a pattern that it was like he just kept, it was more important for him to party than anything else. And that really bothered her. And she didn't feel like it was a good situation for the boys to be in. And that's why she went, I can't do this. Like, this isn't healthy. And I'm done. So yeah, everything was probably fantastic because he was getting, as she said, I filled up my garage for you. You got all the interviews and the, magazine covers, and you got your album and you got to go party. And then Britney went, no more.
Yeah.
And then everything was bad.
And the one thing that really kind of grinds my gears with that particular comment there is the thing of, well, hang on, mate, right? When you're saying everything was good until it wasn't, to me, that's implying that you're shifting the blame on Britney. But like Kim's just eloquently put it, as our Britney, like, historian extraordinaire, dude, you contributed to the breakdown of your marriage. Like, where's your accountability? Where's your side of blame to all of that? It's freaking insane. Cherry Ann Wood says, okay. Oh, she meant sperm donor. It won't let me write it, lol. Oh, okay. Respect. Thanks very much anyway for the £2 super chat for Andy. Really appreciate your face. Okay, well, let's carry on then here. So in this section of the interview, it explains that there were issues at the start. Now, I was quite surprised that they were attempting. 60 Minutes Australia seem here to be attempting to try and make things a little balanced. Ish. All right, I'll give them that. Saying that there were issues at the start with Kevin being a love rat who already had a fiance, a son, and another child on the way. It didn't deter Britney though, because at that point she flew him over to London to join her on a European tour. And in this home video, she asks Kevin, how do you feel about marriage and commitment? Now we're going to play this and you're going to hear his answer. Kim, I'm at 3:55. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Discrimination towards me when me and Britney.
Okay. I've completely hang on, does it say? Okay, so yeah, I've kind of done an editing snafu there. Apologies, guys. Basically, here, when he's asked how does he feel about marriage and commitment, right, he's turning around and he says he don't believe it.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it at all. He's not into it. It's just not his thing. That is essentially what he says in that home video. Whoops. Anyways, Kim,
It's okay.
you can attest to that, right? That's exactly
Yes.
what he says pretty much in a
Yes.
nutshell, right?
Yeah. She's like,
Okay.
well, how do you feel about marriage and commitment? And he's like, I don't believe in marriage. It's like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But he definitely believes in the almighty freaking dollar, it seems like. Just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you gotta think, what would have been going through Britney's mind really at that point? I mean, to be fair, like, she ends up marrying him after he turns round quite point blank and says, you know, when she asks him point blank, what do you think to marriage and commitment? He's like, yeah, I don't believe in marriage. Like, but she still married him anyway?
I think there was a bit of like a development over time that they both decided, like, no, this is it. Kind of like, I don't believe in marriage, but I believe in it with you, was kind of the idea. But yeah, it didn't work out very well.
Do you think, in terms of all the research that you've done and the knowledge you know about Britney, that Kevin did marry her for love? That he did marry her for the right reasons? Like, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Like, no restraint. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Britney is someone that is probably very, in some ways, intoxicating to be around because she is very bubbly. She is very kind. She's very shy as well. A lot of people don't really understand that about her, that she doesn't let a lot of people in very quickly. But when she loves hard. And she's somebody that I think if you are blessed enough to be able to be brought into that circle, and she's willing to give and give and give and give and give, you want to keep that person in your life. Is it possible that that's what you fall in love with? Not necessarily her. I don't know. I'm going to try to say that maybe there were parts of her that he loved, but I don't know if it was a true unconditional love that it should have been.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
Interesting. Well, let's carry on then with this interview. See what else it says. Again, on this edited, transformative for fair use video.
We're getting commentary.
Discrimination towards me when me and Britney.
I mean, we're giving education as we go.
Oh, yeah. But it's based on a video that is edited and again transformative for fair use. There we go. I know this might be annoying you, me having to repeat this quite a lot, but it's something that I'm having to do. So just bear with me on that, guys. Let's get on to the next part. So this bit here is where he's now answering this notion that at the beginning and then during the course of their relationship, a lot of people, pretty much the world, if I remember rightly, just saw him as a party boy turned freaking gold digger. So this is Kevin's response to that many years later.
Discrimination towards me when me and Britney got together and all this stuff. You know, there were so many things out there. I was never good enough and oh, you're this, you're the poor white trash loser, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I was built to be able to take that.
He doesn't answer that. He just turns around, guys, and he just says, you know what, I was called white trash, I was called a gold digger, this, that, and the other, but you know what, I was built to take that. Built on a lot of McDonald's, In-N-Out burgers, as you can tell right now, just saying, but no, he was built to take all the freaking burgers in the world and take on all the criticism that he's a gold digger, he's white trash, this, that, and the other. Kim, reaction.
This was one part where I started screaming. Basically. Okay, first of all,
It's so freaking self-indulgent, this interview. Like, I want to just grab him and shake him by the shoulders and be like, snap out of this.
Okay, when you use the term discrimination, normally it is because you're referring to something that someone is being judged because of their age, their gender, or their race. I understand people called Kevin white trash, but I don't think the fact that he was white really had much to do with the public consciousness of why they did not like Kevin. Like, let's just be real here, because I think people hated Kevin because he appeared to be a lazy, mooching, talentless gold digger who used women to get ahead, whether it was Shar Jackson or Britney Spears. And at that
In my
time,
opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, you could still apply those descriptives to him now. Carry on.
And again, it's kind of like we joked about the other day when Andy showed us that interview of Weird Al Yankovic. One of the nicest dudes in entertainment that doesn't have a problem with like anybody really. But he just was absolutely savage. I remember there was even like a celebration on The View when it was announced that Britney and Kevin were getting divorced. Like balloons fell from the sky and everybody was so excited because they didn't want to see her getting used anymore. So it's like that was more the dialogue. I don't think it had a lot to do with his skin tone. And in the same breath that he's like, I was discriminated against, but it did bother me because I was built for it. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, Jan. All right. You do you.
Yeah. But doesn't actually answer those accusations. No. He just says, I'm built for it. Yeah, built like a freaking McDonald's In-N-Out burger shiz house. Yeah. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Yeah, I can tell that your dancing career is still on a high.
Yeah. That's just my interpretation. That's my opinion. I just from what I remember, right? Like, argue with me in the chat if you think I'm wrong, please. But like, that's how I remember it.
Argue responsibly. If not, I'm going to kick your backsides.
And sip responsibly, as always.
Yes. So here we go. On to the next bit. So at this stage, Kevin, he further explains that, as we just heard, it didn't bother him at all the criticism. And then the interview program then goes on to explain that the paparazzi didn't leave them alone, and it meant that their wedding had to be top secret, even for the guests who thought they were actually attending an engagement party. They duped the guests, saying, "Oh, you attend an engagement party?" They come there and Britney's in a bridal gown and they're getting married. Like that was a situation there. So we all remember Britney, she still is, top of her game, but back then, the paparazzi focus on her was insane. Every move she made, it was documented, it was photographed, it was in the paparazzi, it was front page news. She farted and it was freaking front page news. I mean, that's how insane it really got. So, are you surprised that they really went all 007 Secret Service planning on the wedding itself? Or do you think it was overkill?
I think they did the thing that they needed to do. It's one of the only celebrity weddings that nobody really had any idea was going on. Nobody knew. I mean, even when you look at Britney and Sam's wedding that they had, not too long ago, that morning we had drone shots above her house that they flew in and they were able to get footage of the tent they had set up. That's how we knew. That's when we knew that it was happening. Britney and K-Fed's wedding, no idea. Nobody had any idea.
Cherry Ann Woods, thank you so much for the £2 super chat for Andy, saying BPD makes you fall in love with the idea of love. Borderline personality disorder.
I mean, I think a lot of people fall in love with the idea of love. I think BPD, you absolutely can, but I think a lot of people can. I think obsession, infatuation, and falling in love with the idea of love is something that happens for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, going on to the next part of this interview then, that again has been edited as transformative and for fair use purposes. Let's go.
It was really, really sweet and very nice.
So, after the wedding, we just heard there Britney saying that, you know, the wedding was sweet and really nice. And after the wedding arrived, the programme then explains 1 year after, Sean Preston arrived and Jayden a year after that. But then their relationship was in trouble. And in 2006, Britney filed for divorce, to Kevin's complete and utter shock and surprise. Do you really think it was that much of a shock and surprise for Kevin when she filed for divorce? Like, really? You kidding me? Like, wasn't there that rumour that he, like, went to Vegas as soon as she filed for divorce and wrote on, like, a mirror something that he's not Mr. Britney Spears anymore, something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, and I think he gets into it in a second that he says he's in Chicago and his lawyer comes out, you know, Kaplan comes out to meet him and he goes, the most important thing to me is having those kids. Except when he was in Chicago that night, he had a performance at the House of Blues. And he went into the dressing room in the House of Blues. He grabbed a Sharpie and he wrote all over the door. And it was like, F a wife, you know, yada, yada, yada. Give me my kids, you blah, blah, blah. And basically, ladies, look out, K-Fed's here. And then even when he was on stage, he was like, y'all heard I'm free now. Anybody want to come dance with a PIMP? That was the vibe. That's what he did. And the thing was, nobody was showing up to the show, so they actually started handing out tickets to the House of Blues for free that night. So there's ticket stubs you can still get on eBay if you want them from that night. You could find them. It was a night, and so he's kind of painting this picture that he was like so heartbroken, like I just need my kids, but he was really like kind of going off like I'm still K-Fed, I'm amazing, yeah, and no,
insane. Wow. Well, let's hear from him then. So, the divorce comes through. He served papers. Britney be like, boy, you're done. I'm done with you. Bye. And this is what he says.
Just found out I was getting divorced. I called my lawyer. He met me in Chicago. And we sat down. And the only thing that I told him that all I care about is getting 50% custody of my sons. You know, I can't. I don't. Nothing else mattered to me. Nothing. You know, you can't. I'm not the person that will take money over family.
Okay. Right. I have a few things to say. Kim will have a buttload of things to say. Let me get myself out of the way first before we hear I'm expecting a Kim rant here. Here we go. So, Steph rant number 1 on this score. Oh, okay, right. If all your concern was 50-50 freaking custody, then why a few years ago were you like, right, I want more custody, 70-30, please, thank you very much. You absolute lying piece of shit, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Also, as well, you weren't in it for the money. You weren't bothered about the money whatsoever. Oh, my goodness. Well, if we just have a quick little skimmaroo on where is this? Here we go. Right, I'm gonna show you guys a little something here. This is from @Britney the Stan on Twitter, right? These are official documents, and it's an agreement that shows that Kevin Federline was being paid potentially up to $10,000 a week by Big Jamie Spears during Britney's circus tour. So within the same year, they initiated the conservatorship. Oh no, all his concern was just having 50-50 custody of the boys, not concerned about the money whatsoever, didn't care about that. Oh no, you didn't care about that, but you were so willing to jump on board with Team Con straight away and be paid like $10,000 a year with, may I add, at the end, a bonus $50,000 at the end of the initial leg, at the sole discretion of Mr. Jamie Spears. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What Kevin Federline just said there is complete BS. For just those two reasons alone that I've just pointed out. What a lying crock of shiz. That's freaking insane for him to say. Oh my goodness. And a couple of years ago, if I remember rightly, he was taking Britney to court to ask for more child custody.
Yep.
For more.
Well, basically what happened in 2018, 2019 was it was around the time when Britney got put in the institution. So when she got put in the institution against her will, you got to remember this, right? Kevin goes, okay, well, I want 70% custody now. So Britney can't fight this at all, right? Because she doesn't have the legal right to be able to go in and fight for custody of her children. This is entirely between Kevin and Jamie Spears, right? Britney's not even in this conversation at this point. And we also have to remember that around that time too, there was a certain restraining order put in place because of the behavior of Big Jamie against one of Britney's sons. And there was a potential DV incident, which resulted in Kevin getting a restraining order against Jamie Spears. So it went from him saying, well, I need $10,000 per child per month to saying I need more because now I'm taking 20% more of custody. And there were upwards of, I think it was $60,000 was the rumor that he was asking for a month. So he wanted more than double what he had before for 20% more while his ex was getting treatment. You got to understand why the idea of him saying, you know, I would never choose money over family is a little bit laughable, because you just kind of look at this track record and go, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
And I will say too, my favorite thing about that whole thing, I have it saved here because it's so beautiful. In the court documents where he was asking for more child support, he stated in the documents that one of the reasons he was requesting more money was because he was no longer able to perform as a dancer due to his age and had not been successfully putting out new music as he was in 2008.
What? Popo Zao was successful? Really? That's what success looks like? Well, do you know what? When I go to the toilet and push out a shit every single time, apparently that's what success looks like.
So he hadn't been able to put out successful music since 2008, and therefore he needed $60,000 a month. The logic of Kevin Federline, everyone. Enjoy it.
In your own time, enjoy. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to the next bit of this interview. So, the program says that after the divorce filing, there was a battle for the boys between Kevin and Britney. So this was at the same time where they state that Britney was having to deal with the pressures of high-level fame, and a breakdown was broadcast in front of the whole world to see. Now, I kind of feel like here, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, 60 Minutes has been extremely misleading. Because, again, from my research and what I know about the situation back then, like, either she was diagnosed or there was at least a reasonable suspicion that potentially she was suffering from postpartum.
Yes.
And when you've got that, coupled with the pressure cooker of the paparazzi and her fame and her job and everything else, she's the freaking bed. Anyone would have gone absolutely just broken down.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so for me, it's like, when they're saying here, it was like, oh, you know, she had to deal with the high pressures of fame and a breakdown, this, that, and the other. They're equating the high level pressure of fame and the breakdown being synonymous, being linked. But that is a very basic, not nuanced view.
Yeah.
It's very simplified to the point where, in my opinion, conspiracy theory or whatever, that's actually misleading. Kim, again, our resident Britney historian expert, like, thoughts, say something. It's more intelligent than me right now in terms of the words coming out of my gob. Thank you very much.
I think what Britney has said about that time frame was she said that she was lonely, that there was a lot going on. She said she let people into her life she shouldn't have let into her life. Things spiraled out of control. She understood in the For the Record documentary, which came out in 2008-ish, I think, that she understood that she was being punished for those choices that she made. On top of that, when we talk about the paparazzi, I think some people kind of get this idea in their head that there's like 5 people following her around. That was not the case. There were points where she had 100 paparazzi following her every time she left her house. And it became impossible for her to be able to even go get a coffee or to be able to really go anywhere. And the thing is, how do I word this? There was no way for her to be able to maneuver safely in her life. And that type of influence of that many type of paparazzi is now illegal in the state of California. There have been laws passed to stop this from happening because of how bad it became. And Britney, unfortunately, felt the wrath of that, I think, more than any other celebrity. It's the quote that their most photographed people in the world are Princess Diana, Marilyn Monroe, and Britney Spears. And when you take a look at all 3 of them, you see some similarities and you see how invasive the press became and how it affected each of them. And the difference is Britney, thankfully, is still with us. And I'm very happy that that is the case. But what Britney went through is unlike any other celebrity's experience. And you can't compare it because it was 1 in a billion. And that pressure alone, I hate it when people say it's the pressure of fame. It was not the pressure of fame. She handled her fame just fine. She put out a record, Blackout, around that time that she was very involved with, which is known as just like a flawless, perfect pop record. She did it fantastically. Her work was fine. She just couldn't breathe. And it affected her on top of also, I believe, having postpartum depression. That's what it was, in my opinion. I don't think it was anything more than that. But people like to look at it from a very removed base level, and they don't really understand how crazy it got.
Well, Matt Bond, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, mate, asks, do you see similarities between K-Fed and Wade Robson?
Oh my gosh, Matt. You really gonna make me go there?
Do you want to say no comment and move on?
Loving no comment. We'll talk about it later.
There we go. Right, that'll do. That'll do. Right, well, let's carry on then. I'm at 6:43.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
I was mortified for her. I really was, for a long time. Way past the time that people were watching. It's been years. I still feel bad for her. You know, I mean, it's hard. It's.
Yeah. Feel mortified for her. Feel bad for her. All those years, even now you feel mortified and you feel bad for her. But you didn't get off your fat, bleeding backside to actually help her and free her. You did nothing, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Oh, no, actually, no, correction. You did do something. You took her freaking money with a smile on your face and more time away for the kids from her with a 70-30 custody. You did that. More than happy to do that. But actually to help the mother of your children get out from under, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, an absolute repressive regime of Team Con. Oh no, but you were mortified and you felt awful for her. Well, not enough. Not bleeding enough. To me, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, he's saying that for lip service. I don't think he was mortified. I don't think he felt awful at all. I really, really don't. I think the situation suited him, in opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. because he was able to maintain a life of no work, tens of thousands of dollars each and every month, look after kids, fine. Easy freaking life. Well, easier life, let's say. Kim, thoughts?
I can't help but feel like, he's saying he was mortified while he was, wiping his tears with $100 bills or something. It's just he benefited from her going through this every day. And I have more feelings about that. I think we're going to get to them probably as we keep going through, but it's just, I also got kind of flashbacks when he was like, I was mortified, long after, whatever. Kind of reminded me of Jamie Lynn's video that was like, I supported my sister before there was a hashtag. Note that. Like that type of vibe. I'm just like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, in this next part of the program, it says the 60 Minutes show then explains that in 2008, as we know, Jamie steps in. And this is where the conservatorship starts. We know he then controls everything in her life, from money, who was in her life, what she ate, the whole lot. Kevin states that he did not pick sides and chose to support both Britney and her family. A diplomacy he claims he has maintained with Sean Preston and Jayden to this day. Kim, go for it, lass.
Oh gosh. I wonder if that diplomatic stance of him not trying to get, trying to be both Team Jamie and Team Britney still qualified when he filed for the restraining order. But we're not apparently going to talk about that at all in this interview, are we?
Oh, yeah. We're just going to gloss over that. Not even gloss over it. Just pretend it never happened and it never existed.
Ignore. We're just going to ignore that, level 1.
Yeah. Right. I'm on 728. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
All right. So we're going to get to this next bit where more words and noise is basically going to come out of K-Fed's gob. Here we go.
How did you explain to your kids what is a conservatorship? Why is mom not being able to make her own decisions?
They've had a lot of questions about it. I don't know that I can answer all of them for them, but I just try to explain to them that your mom needed help, and the people were in play to try to make that happen, to make it better.
This is the brainwashing, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that started to happen with Sean Preston and Jayden. Your mother needed help, and there were people in play that gave her the help that she needed. Yeah, did she need help? Yes. Did she need a damn freaking conservatorship? Hell no. Did she need someone in legal documents, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, to unfairly and unethically label her as suffering from some kind of dementia, and that's why they need the conservatorship? Like, are you shizzing me? The whole way this conservatorship was set up is on freaking shaky ground, to say the least. But no, let's explain it to the boys of, you know what, your mum just needed a little bit of help, and the people that were there were put in play to just help her. For 13 freaking years to help her. And what was the help that they gave her? Well, within that year, she had a cameo on freaking How I Met Your Mother, recorded an album, and went on tour with said album. If there's someone that's having a nervous mental breakdown and is going through an absolute mental health crisis, do you really think that on the cusp of getting the conservatorship and on the day after, the best thing to do to that person under the conservatorship is put them back to work like that? under extreme circumstances and such a massive regime. Because recording an album and touring and doing that cameo in How I Met Your Mother, they aren't easy things to do, guys.
No.
It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of freaking pressure. And to someone that's apparently suffering from dementia at the time, going through a lot of mental health stuff, you're going to put them through all the extra stress and whatnot. But no. They were there to help. That's how we're going to explain it to the boys. They were there to help Britney. Kim?
Okay. my notes here start to get really complicated, so I'm gonna
bear with her. Go for it.
I think the first thing I think that is insanely important for us to understand here when we talk about this is separate from how you feel about Britney's behavior or mental health or what you believe is quote unquote wrong with Britney. A conservatorship or a guardianship is a legal measure that is taken for people who are unable to this is the quote, this is literally what it's defined as: a person who is unable to provide properly for his or her personal needs for physical health, food, clothing, or shelter. Okay, so you got to think about this from the perspective of this is for somebody who is no longer able to work to put a roof over their head, that is no longer able to put their own clothing on, that is no longer able to feed themselves. That was not Britney Spears. Britney had just put out an album. She had filmed 2 music videos. She was doing a mini tour. She was still working and providing for herself and was alive. You know, like she could put food in her own mouth. Okay. And then the second part of it is for someone who is substantially unable to manage his or her own financial resources or resist fraud or undue influence. Now, that is where I can see the argument that Britney may have needed help. But I think it's also important to understand that Britney Spears at the time was the owner of the company underneath her called Britney Brands, and she had a number of I can't remember how many there were at the time. I'm guessing there were at least 15 different companies running underneath her. And on top of that, she had, you know, her royalties coming in. She had her brand deals. She had her deal with Elizabeth Arden. She had all of that type of stuff. It just went on and on and on and on and on. In my personal belief, I don't think one person can handle all of those things financially and be able to work all of those companies. Her financials were incredibly complicated. And I could definitely see if she was going through something hard that having additional financial help would be a good call. Now, does that mean that a conservator needs to come in and take over her finances and manage everything? I don't believe that that's the right approach. Because basically what you're saying is that if you are a person that's running an empire, you are no longer suited to run that empire because you can't handle the financials of that entire empire. Do you get what I'm saying, Steph? So a conservatorship for both the personal and the financial aspects of Britney Spears' life, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many, many others, was a misuse of that system. The conservatorship system, the guardianship system, was not put in place in the state of California for someone like Britney Spears. And on top of that, as an American citizen, she was supposed to be allowed to have 5 days notice to be able to get her own attorney, to be able to fight that someone wanted to take over her estate. That was waived by the judge that they chose to go to, allegedly. And they said that she also, the reason for this was that she was suffering from a dementia-related illness. And to this day, they have not produced the documentation to the courts to prove that she had indeed been diagnosed with a dementia-related illness. So not only was this whole system, the idea of the conservatorship being put on her, not the right way to help her, it was done in a way that never should have been allowed. So saying that your mom needed help, that does not explain why she was in a conservatorship. And the sad thing is I can tell you that from looking at this on Google for a half hour. Never mind actually being in the inner circle of understanding and living in the state in which this whole situation unfolded.
Yeah.
So I understand there's going to be a lot of people that say, like, that I am just saying, yes, Britney, yes, Queen, yes, yes, yes. But that is irrelevant when we are talking about the conservatorship. And this is why a huge part of the Free Britney movement is about abolishing conservatorships and guardianships, because they are one of the most abused systems in the country when it comes to elder abuse and abuse of people with disabilities. And if that is a rabbit hole you have not gone down, I strongly recommend you take a look at it. Separate from how you feel about Britney Spears, this is a mess. This is a mess, and this never should have been allowed. And if you are an American citizen, you need to understand that this can happen to anyone. And it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to think that it's a thing. So anyway, yeah.
Well, Matt Bond, thank you so much for another $2 super chat for Andy saying parental alienation 101. I'm going to disagree with you there. Okay, so, wait, but there's more.
There's more.
We're only halfway through, pretty much, this horrific interview. But the program goes on to say that for the sons, their confusion of being children of divorced parents was amplified due to Britney being in a conservatorship. However, Jayden states that he believes his grandfather Jamie had only good intentions for Britney. So if I just go to 8:21, Kim, you there?
I am.
All right. This is what we're going to play now. This is Jayden speaking out for the first time during this particular interview. So let's hear what he's got to say.
First, I mean, everyone is mostly hating him for the conservatorship, right? But I think at first he was just trying to be like any father, like pursue her daughter's dream of like being a superstar and working and going and all these concerts and performing. But I think some people are just like ceasing to realize how much he cares about her.
Kevin Federline,
Hang on.
who saw Britney at her troubled worst, agrees his ex-father-in-law was doing his best at a very tough time.
So before we get on to then what Kevin Federline says about Jamie Spears doing his best at the time to save his daughter, the son, Jayden, even after what happened a couple of years back between them and Big Jamie, is now turning around and saying, you know what, all the hate that Big Jamie's getting, my granddad's getting, I think it's unwarranted. Because he was just there to make sure that she was still achieving her dream, that, she, everything was still all right. He wanted to look after her. He had a best interest at heart. That's, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what I'm getting from it. I'm not going to criticise Jayden. Not one bit. Not one bit. This is not his fault. What he's saying now is not his fault. It really, really isn't. Matt Bond said it. Parental alienation 101. My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Exactly what's happening. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Exactly what's happening to try and exert control over Britney without the conservatorship. Because that's the one play that they've got left. You want to see your boys more? Well, guess what? We're asking for more money to pay for our solicitors and everything. Pay up. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. And this is scary. And this is absolutely scary. Kim, before we get on to more Kevin BS coming out of his gob, any thoughts on this bit?
Many.
Go on, lass.
Okay. I think same as Steph, I have no intention of dragging or saying anything negative about either of Britney's sons. I don't feel like they should have been brought into this in the first place. I hate that they are in this interview to begin with. I hate that I am even having to utter their names at this point, because I don't think I should have to, because this is not their fault. They should not have been dragged into this. And that is my biggest issue with this interview, hands down. Hands down, they are minors, and it's ridiculous. Now, what I will say when it comes to Big Jamie Spears, I don't think the things that Jayden has been told at this point are reflecting the reality of what is going on. I pulled up the New Yorker article that exposed a lot of stuff about the conservatorship as the Free Britney ball really started rolling. And there is a quote from a witness to when Jamie first took over the conservatorship. So this would have been 2007 time. At the beginning, best of intentions, Jamie. And it says he would get all up in her face. Spittle was flying, telling her that she was a whore and a terrible mother. Adding that Lynn told Britney that
Please
she
be
could
careful of
see-
some of the words you say, hon. YouTube.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Not nice things. Yeah. Adding that Lynn told Britney that she could see her two sons again if she cooperated. Lynn said, "Obey daddy and they'll let you out." This is also the man that once he took over the conservatorship would regularly yell, "I am Britney Spears." He may have loved her. He may have wanted what was best for her. But he had a really interesting way of showing it.
I'm going to go a little bit nerdy on this one in a way with what you just said and be like, like Lord of the Rings and the ultimate ring of power.
Mm-hmm.
When you get it, you start off with best intentions, but it corrupts. Could have been what happened. You got the ring of power, it corrupted. And that was it. Done.
Yeah. The other thing I think that's important when Jayden said, he was trying to help his daughter fulfill her childhood dream. This was a dream she had already fulfilled. And something I think people don't understand, and Jamie Lynn has even stated this, that Big Jamie was not very present in Britney's childhood because he had a lot of issues of his own he needed to deal with. And Jamie Lynn even said that Big Jamie brought, I think, times of made her torturous, I think was the word that she used when she described Jamie's influence in her childhood. And so when Jamie Lynn was born, that would have been 1991, which was around the time when Britney was already doing work on Broadway and the Mickey Mouse Club supporting her family. Jamie didn't really seem to, from what I've seen in my speculation, my opinion, was not very involved in Britney achieving her dreams in the first place. Britney did that on her own. Painting him as this supportive stage parent is not, in my opinion, accurate.
No. Let's go back to this interview then. We're on the cusp of finding out what Kevin Federline thinks about Big Jamie. Again, just as a regular kind of little message to you all out there, we're using a video that's been edited and is transformative for fair use. So do bear that in mind. I've put the link in the chat again, so if you guys want to see it in full without it being interrupted with our commentary, you do have that option as well. But let's carry on. I'm at 9:01, Kim.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Because they're not my immediate family, they're my kids' immediate family. That's their grandfather and their grandmother and their uncle. And I feel that it's very important that they have relationships with all of them, regardless of what happens. I wasn't involved in any of it, so I really don't know how the conservatorship came about. I don't know whose decision it was. I don't know. All I know is that you have a family that is worried about their daughter and trying to do whatever they can to help her. Okay. That's all that I knew.
That's all he knew, Kim. That's all he knew. They were just trying to help, but he didn't know whose idea it was, didn't know how it started, was not involved in it whatsoever. Oh, can we myth bust this one, please?
I mean,
Please. Can
if
we
you look-
myth bust this?
if you look at the court documents of the conservatorship, I mean, Kevin is in there. Kaplan is in there too. I think he knew something. And the other thing I would say is, Kevin says he wasn't involved and he didn't know who had the final say, but we all know who had the final say, and he just happened to be the one signing the child support checks that he cashed every month. So
He was taking the money. He was hella involved. As I showed you as well earlier on in this programme, from at Britney the Stan, literally totally involved with Team Con. Again, an agreement between him and Jamie Spears, i.e. he's now Britney Spears, guys, yeah? This is all during the circus tour. Point number 4, you will receive the following as full and complete compensation for your services. He provided a service to Team Con, and he was handsomely rewarded and compensated for said services. A sum equal to $10,000 per week for each and every week of the initial leg, including any periods of time when you're not with the tour during the initial leg. A bonus at the sole discretion of Mr. Jamie Spears of a sum of up to $50,000 payable, if at all, at the expiration of the initial leg. We have informed you that the children will be provided with their own first-class tour bus, which will be customised in a way to make it safe, interactive living and play space for the children. They'll also be accompanied by their nanny and current security. Mr. Jamie Spears will continue to provide supervision for the children at any time that you're available to do so. But yeah, he wasn't involved at all with the conservatorship. He was completely out of it. Didn't know a clue. Didn't have a clue. Absolutely stupid as hell. Well, he is stupid as hell, but not when it comes to conservatorship, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Had nothing to do with it whatsoever. Nothing to do with it. Dude, you freaking sign court documents for the conservatorship. How could you have not been involved? You are literally the father of Britney Spears' 2 only sodding children. How could you have not been involved? The conservatorship, my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Kim, the conservatorship, there were like a few main players for this really to have come into being, right? Are you to tell me that K-Fed was not one of those key players? They have had to have had him on board. He'd have to be a main key player because he's the father of Britney Spears' children, right?
the idea of him saying that he didn't know what was going on, or he didn't know like who was making the final say or whatever, is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's really I kind of feel like it's him insulting my intelligence in a weird way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Yeah. That's a great way to describe it. It's like he's just insulted our intelligence by saying that. Like, what the freaking hell? Hope, thank you so much for the $20 super chat for Andy. Really, really appreciate your face. No message, just $20 super chat for Andy. Well, thank you so much for your support. Really, really appreciate that, hon. Let's carry on then in terms of this situation with the interview. Let's see what else is said. I'm on 9:40.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
The boys, the boys, the boys, my kids, my family, and that was it. I had to worry about them. I couldn't get involved in all of the other stuff because it's just, I don't feel like it would be fair to Britney. I don't feel like it would have been fair to my sons. I have no part in any of that.
So you feel Jamie might have saved his daughter?
100% I feel like he saved her back then.
But as you'll see,
100% he felt like he saved his daughter. Couldn't get involved. Wasn't fair for Britney or the kids. Couldn't get involved at all. Oh, no. But earlier on, he felt awful. and mortified at what happened. But no, he couldn't get involved because he needed to be neutral for the kids, the boys. But then if he couldn't get involved and he has to stay neutral, then why is he all of a sudden providing an opinion in favour of Team Con? That ain't neutral, is it? Oh no, but he saved his daughter. Yeah, he saved his daughter, but I can't get involved. But no, Team Con saved the daughter. Oh yeah. This is frustrating. This is like infuriating what's coming out of his gob. It's like, dude, are you living in the reality right now of what's actually happening and what's actually happened? Like, what the hell? I mean, is there a scenario? Is there a situation that's plausible that you think that Team Con, to a certain extent, has opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, manipulated Kevin as well into a certain way of thinking, if that makes sense?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I think, to me, there is a massive red flag going up when, I mean, if you are a parent and you have to go to the extent of getting a restraining order to protect your child from their grandfather, and then 2 years later you're on TV defending them as some savior, that doesn't add up to me. Most of the time when you get a restraining order, it's usually because you're kind of done with the person and you want them to stay away from you. What changed?
Yeah. What changed? That's the thing. And the light bulb just went off in my head. Then I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. Could he have been, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, manipulated and being like a mouthpiece for Team Con via manipulation, this, that, and the other? And I mean, it is a little bit in K-Fed's defense, but guys, you know, we keep it real and we try and look at all sides. Could that be a factor? Kim says it can be. Hope, again, another super chat, $10. Thank you so much for your continued support. Andy saying, love you ladies, you're doing an awesome job. Oh, well, we love you too. Thank you so much, Hope, for being so kind. Really appreciate that, hon. Okay, and Rowena Reigns, a $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much for your support for Andy. And it's Mr. Yellow Dude, and he's just saying hi. Oh, hey up, Rowena. How's it going? Hey up. Thank you so much for your wonderful, kind and generous support for Andy there as well. Right, so this is one of the rare moments, again, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, where 60 Minutes Australia tries to keep it balanced. Kevin Federline has just said, yeah, he saved the daughter. He saved Britney Spears. Britney Spears is now going to jump in and be like, hold on there, mate. Here we go. I'm on 10:03, Kim.
Okay.
All right, play now.
That's certainly not what Britney thinks.
I honestly, still to this day, don't know what really I did, but the punishment of my father, I wasn't able to see anyone or like anything, and you have to imagine none of it made sense to me.
So here, the program then explains that, you know, for 13 years, Britney wasn't allowed, she was prohibited, as we know, under the conservatorship, to make any decisions for herself or in her life. Now, at this point, and we'll carry on from here, the interview now introduces the hashtag Free Britney movement. So let's play again now. And here's a little bit of Britney Spears performing, doing her thing.
But with the support of her fans, who organised a global campaign known as the Free Britney movement, she fought to overturn the conservatorship that had controlled her life. Last November,
I think that was Jake Yonsei there in the glasses. Unmistakable.
Despite her victory,
Oh, I
though,
remember this moment
it's
as well.
clear
We
the
were
pop
live on
star
stream and we just
hasn't
absolutely
forgiven
just
her
parted our
family.
backsides off. It was
Last
amazing
week, Britney
moment
released
to
an
be a part
audio
of.
recording that did not hold back.
my heart would just want to stand up in my family's faces and scream and cry and throw a tantrum and go back in time and do exactly what I wanted to do at those times. Yeah, and might even spit in their faces. Why? Because the pain my family gave me, sitting me there all day and not being able to use my feet, as they watch their grandchildren run bases to base in a family neighborhood, as if I'm or I don't exist, honestly makes me look up and say, how the did they get away with it?
How are they getting away with it? Indeed. It's now kind of, in terms of the movement, it's gone from hashtag free Britney to, quite rightly, hashtag justice for Britney. Because opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, what happened to Britney is absolutely criminal. People got to pay. People got to answer to what they've done. And it is horrifying and insane what happened to Britney, in terms of what we know from what Britney has told us. And I don't think she's even scratched the surface. This book that's going to be coming out in the next year or so, it's going to, I imagine, going to blow minds to the point of, really? To the point where it's unbelievable, where it's like, that can't have happened. It's not like you're doubting Britney, because it's not going to be like that, I imagine. It's just like, whoa, that happened. She's the freaking bad. That's like insane. Like, that's like unbelievable. Like, whoa. Like, that's kind of what I'm expecting, because I think this is just scratching the surface. A lot of things that happened to her in the last 13 years. I mean, she's focusing a lot on the Bridges facility at the moment. But this is 13 years of conservatorship. There's a lot more shiz that went down that I believe she's going to delve a little bit more into this book that's going to be released. But do you think... I mean, I trust Rose and God. In Rose and God we trust, right?
Yes.
But with all the will in the world of Rose and God, do you think they're going to get away with it? I know you hope they don't. I hope they don't as well. But knowing the system, do you think they'll get away with it?
I think if they can get it on paper, yes. Like that they won't get away with it if it can be proven on paper that there were issues with the books. Potentially if money, and this is my speculation, if money was hidden and taxes were not paid, there's a lot of money missing from this estate, which has been the point that most people that have raised concerns about it, that's been when the cease and desists come. That's when there's been the legal, like the litigious actions taken, when there's speculation about where that money is. And in the last hearing, Rosengard asked for the courtroom to be cleared because he had evidence he wanted to show. And from the sounds of what we've heard, it might have had something to do with the books in 2010. That's the speculation right now. And once that was mentioned, everybody went nuts.
It's off of the back of the other speculation as well, is that new evidence was off of the back of a Big Jamie's deposition.
Yep.
Now, just tell us the significance of the potential that this is from the 2010 books and why people went nuts over that.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sorry. Why, just for those of the uninitiated like me, why would people be going nuts over it being the 2010 books potentially?
To be honest, I don't know. And this is part of why I haven't reported on a huge amount. I have my own speculation, but that it's purely speculation. And when you're talking about something this serious, I don't like to get super deep into what I'm guessing. Because guesses sometimes can be reported as fact very quickly, and that shouldn't be the case. But There are definitely questions about multiple years of finances right now, about things that haven't been turned over to the courts properly, um, and arguments regarding what the court should have and what they shouldn't have. And it's just a bit of a mess. So I think between the books and then also the allegations of surveillance of Britney, either of those I think could result in legal intervention to people who are responsible. And we will see how that goes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get on to the next part, Sai, thank you so much for the 25 super chat, saying, I can't even imagine how hard this is for Britney. I hope she's a subscriber here so she can see our support and feel validated and all this madness. Well, if she's a subscriber, hey up, Britney. How's it going, hon? And secondly, don't watch us. Enjoy your freaking life with Sam. You know, freaking, you got better things to do than watch us dumb faces. You know what I mean, lass? Enjoy your freaking life. Be happy, be safe, be healthy. That's all we want. Matt Bond, another $2 super chat from Mr. Matt Bond, saying, I think K-Fed got, we go down, you go down with us. So he's saying that Team Con may have turned round, opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, and Team Con's like, do you know what? If we go down, we're pulling you down with us. And so this might be a point of him trying to save himself, self-preservation, that kind of thing, maybe. How reasonable do you think that idea could be, that scenario?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Certainly anything is possible. Okay, well, let's get on to the next part of this interview. So I'm at 11:43.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. So here, Kevin states he does understand Britney's anger, but wants to know that the boys' reaction to conservatorship when it ended was that they were happy. Happiness and joy. They were absolutely glad and happy for her.
Both of them were happy for her, you know, because it's not always about what's right. It's about, this is what mom wanted, you know, mom got.
Hang on. It's not always about what's right, it's what mum wanted. So what he's saying there, guys, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is that the end of the conservatorship wasn't the right thing to do. That she should be still in a conservatorship now. But it's what mum wanted, so that is it. Shiz the freaking bed. That is scary.
Yes.
That's scary. Guys, you break this down bit by bit. This interview is scary. And if you just watch it in one go and you don't pause it in between, you miss these bits. You miss these bits where it's like you really listen to what he's saying, the words that are coming out of his gob. Guys, want the right thing to do, but it's what Britney wanted. That is horrifying. He would still want right now the mother of his child to be under a conservatorship. Where at the whim of Big Jamie, he could send her back to that facility, wherever it was, mind you. May have been Bridges, it may have not been, who knows. And her to be going through all that hell that she described. Just because she didn't like a dance move and wanted to change it. What? Kim, thoughts on that one?
I think this is also where we have to consider an ist term relating to people with disabilities. Regardless of whether or not there is something wrong with Britney Spears, people that have disabilities or mental health issues deserve the right to be able to make their own decisions. They're still people. They deserve human rights. And when you put someone in a conservatorship, you take that away from them. And that's why it's supposed to be so difficult to put people in these situations. And the idea that Britney was well enough to make all this money for all of these other people to work as hard as she was pushed, but shouldn't have the right to make her own decisions because some people may not agree with those decisions. That's what's crazy. That's the crazy part. And it bothers me that this is a mentality that I'm seeing a lot with people talking about Britney. They're saying, you know, well, like, oh, I don't agree with the way that she's dressing herself and posting on Instagram. Therefore, I think she should be back in a conservatorship. That's not what it's for. That's not what it's for, guys. That's not the point. And if you're treating it like that's what it's for, what you're saying is that if someone has a mental illness and needs help, that basically they need to be put away and do whatever other people tell them to their benefit. So if you have mental illness, it's like a form of slavery. That's okay. It's not. It's not. Does that make sense, Steph? Do you get what I'm saying with that?
Yeah. Nerd News Otto has been a Popcorn Planeteer member for 5 months. Thank you so much for your continued support. For Andy, saying Kevin is on Team Con for the beginning. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Totally agree. Totally freaking agree. Okay, so let's carry on then. So the next part of this, the program explains that at the end of the conservatorship, Britney was 40. She had a lot of life to catch up on because, you know, she lost the last 13 years of it. One of her priorities was to marry Sam. 3 months ago, they wed at a celebrity-studded event, but apparently, and it did in a way, even we were questioning why weren't the kids there. It did reveal there was an issue with the family, as none of her closest relatives, including her son, was there. And Jayden explains that the rationale to that is simple. Now, none of her closest relatives were there. Well, that's obvious. They were all in on it, right? Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. They were all in for Team Con. She don't give a shiz about them. A sister, a father, a mother, a brother. After everything that she said about them, you really think that she's going to be inviting them to a damn wedding? Like, really? 60 Minutes Australia? Really? Like, it showed how fractured and broken the family was because none of her closest relatives were there. Well, do you know what? Have you ever actually seen any of Britney's Instagram posts where she discusses her family? You don't just can tell. You can't just tell from who she didn't invite to the wedding that the family was freaking broken and fractured. Just read a damn Instagram post. She says it loud and clear. She hates them for what they did to her. She's saying it loud and clear. The family's freaking broken. She don't want no to do with them anymore. Oh, but no, it's who she didn't invite that showed that the family was fractured and broken. Freaking hell, what? But no, Jayden explains that the rationale is simple as to why it was the case that the closest family relatives were not there. So I'm going to 12:55. Kim, let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Happy for them, but like, I mean, she didn't invite her whole family, and then if it was just gonna be me and Preston, like, I just don't see how that situation would have like ended on, you know, good terms.
So, yeah.
I have so many feelings.
Again, we don't blame Jayden. We're not
No.
criticising him. It's not his fault he's saying all this stuff, right? Kim, go for it.
Okay. I think touching on what Steph said, I just kind of want to break this down for a minute. Let's talk about the people she did not invite to this wedding. First of all, let's just stick with the inner circle here with what we're talking about. Apparently, Kevin Federline was not invited to his ex-wife's wedding. How many people here, if you got married, would you be inviting your ex with their new wife and all their other kids that are not yours to your wedding? I'd love to see a show of hands in the chat. How many of you would do that? If you wouldn't, I'd love to see thumbs down. I just for science, okay? Let's just see this.
Oh, hang on. Right, let me do it simpler. Press 1 if you would invite your ex-husband to your wedding of your second, or press 2 if you wouldn't invite your ex-husband to your wedding. Now, guys, I'm signed in as Popcorn Planet because I have the power. I'm voting. No, hang on. Delete. 2. No way am I inviting. If I had an ex-husband, no way am I inviting an ex-husband to my second wedding. Are you shizzing me? No freaking way. No way in hell am I doing that. And everyone's pretty much agreeing there. Two, thumbs down. Patricia with a bar face. Yeah, pretty much the sentiment there.
Okay, so we'll put the Federlines in one camp over here. Now we're going to move into the Spears family.
Yeah.
Britney is currently in open litigation right now with her father. Okay? Most people don't invite people that they are pursuing in the court of law to their wedding. I don't think that that's that weird. People, I mean, I've unfortunately been in a situation where I've had to sue someone. I would not be inviting them to a party and paying for their dinner. Second, Lynn Spears also is asking Britney to pay for all of her legal fees and wrote a whole tell-all book about her and made money off it. I don't think I'd invite her either.
Which was then discredited, mind you.
Yes, it was. Then we've got Jamie Lynn that did a whole press tour in the past year. Would you invite them to your wedding? If you were in Britney's shoes? I don't know. So the only one that kind of is left there is Brian. And there were rumors that Brian was kind of invited. Britney cleared that up, that he was not. But Brian has apparently chosen his allegiance. But even as recently as that 22-minute audio, Britney alleged that Jamie was not very nice to Brian growing up, that there were issues there. And there have been multiple people on, for lack of a better term, not a part of Teen Con that have said, Brian's not a bad person. He's just in a very difficult position. But my point is, I don't think that her not inviting these people to the wedding is irrational. And the wedding at that point is about Britney. This is about her day, her and Sam. So my question is, who's telling them that it wouldn't end well if they went to the wedding? Because to me, I would not be, if I was Jamie Lynn or anybody else, I would not be expecting an invitation. And I would hope that, you know, the boys would be able to have a good enough relationship with their mother. They'd be able to go to her own wedding. I wouldn't stand in the way of that. So where are they hearing this dialogue?
And remind yourself, earlier on in this interview, you know, Kevin Federline was like, you know what, one of my main priorities is making sure that my sons have a good relationship with their mother, with Britney. Where is that intention in play right now?
Just saying.
Where is that intention in play right now?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So, like,
disgusting.
Not mad at the boys, but like this is complicated and it's messed up. And I don't understand why people think that it's weird that her family was not invited to the wedding.
Bookiko has been a member for 5 months as a Popcorn Planeteer. Thank you so much for your continued support. Saying, I've never liked K-Fed, and it was always suspect to me that her parents sided with him over her, and that told me it was always about the money. Well, quite clearly, there must have been the Britney's parents siding with K-Fed over Britney because, you know, somehow a few years back he got 70-30 in his favour for custody. And was getting all that money in child support every single month. Still is right now, but no team con, so there's that. But, you know. Interesting, right? Interesting. Anyways, let's carry on with this. So I'm at 13:45.
Okay.
Let's see what else this interview spews up.
Yeah, so the boys have decided that, you know, they're not seeing her right now. It's been a few months since they've actually even seen her.
So it's been a few months since they've actually seen her. Kevin says they've decided not to see their mother, but doesn't really fully explain, you know, why that is the case and goes into any detail whatsoever. And to be fair, they're 15, 16 years old. Right? How are they in any position to have the cognitive function to be rationalising a decision over whether they don't see their mother, but they just completely cut her off and don't see her for months? Really? They came up on that all on their own? Right. The programme then goes into saying that at this point, Britney's efforts to claim back her life have inevitably led to questions about her taking more control over the relationship she has with her sons. She used to have 50-50 custody, but as we've already explained, this changed to 70-30 in favour of Kevin. As he explains, it's because they weren't always happy living at their mother's home. Now, firstly, I find it absolutely insulting that Britney claiming her life back automatically then leads questions to her gaining more access and control over her own children's lives. Really? 60 Minutes Australia, you're really going to go down that route? Here's the freaking front door on the way out. And then it's because they weren't happy living at their mother's home. Well, how unhappy could they have been? To be fair, it was 70-30 in favour of freaking Kevin. In retrospect, if you look at those odds, she was barely seeing him 30% of the freaking time. What the freaking deuce, right? That's insane. Kim.
I was just going to say, the 70-30 arrangement had absolutely nothing, in my opinion, based on court documents and things that we know, on whether or not the boys were happy or not, because the 70-30 arrangement happened in part because of her being put in the institution. Because Kevin had to take on more of a role because Britney was gone. So, again, something we don't mention. Also, no mention of what happened with Jamie in the restraining order.
Just about to say that.
Convenient.
How convenient.
Very convenient.
How convenient. I'm now at 14:21, Kim.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
I've spent the better part of my adult life turning the other cheek in response to attacks on me. When our children are attacked, I found the need to set the record straight to be overwhelming.
Firstly, what attacks on K-Fed? The attacks on Kevin Federline were extremely non-existent because he kept his mouth shut. He kept out of it. He did the right thing in that regard, right? The attacks on the children? Dude, you released those videos on Instagram between Britney and the children when she's telling them off. We said at the freaking time, When that happened, we reported it on this channel. We said at the freaking time, Kevin Federline, you absolute piece of shiz. You've just painted a freaking target on the back of your kids. You've brought them into this. Not only via including them in this interview with 60 Minutes Australia, but by releasing those videos. The opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, allegedly the kids freaking filmed in secret. You brought them into this public eye. You brought them into this conversation. Course, then you were putting a freaking target on their back when they were well out of it and should have been kept well out of it. So then you can't turn around and freaking play the violin like Kim was doing right there and be like, oh, woe is me, this, that, and the other, when it's the freaking of your own making that's happened. So of your own making. You idiot. Idiot. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I going nuts? Am I an idiot?
You're not nuts.
Kim.
Okay, I think just want to call it out here. This is where I think people get a little bit divided almost when it comes to this issue, but here is how I see it. Britney didn't really say anything about the boys not being at the wedding. She did not drag them at all. She left it alone. Kevin then goes, well, I want to do an interview, so I'm going to call somebody from the press from overseas to come to my house to sit and do an interview. Then stuff of that interview leaks about why the boys didn't go to the wedding. Britney then responds that this interview is hurtful and she's not okay with it and she's upset about it. And I think part of the reason she was upset about it is because she spent a lot of time in her life trying to protect these boys from the media. And seeing her ex basically go behind her back and expose them to this, that's very upsetting. It's incredibly upsetting. So she goes, this is hurtful. I'm not cool with this. Then the media outlet that did the interview originally said, well, we're not going to air it. We're going to delay this because this is obviously very hurtful and this is messed up and we're trying to think about the boys and we're not doing this. Okay, cool. Then hot on the heels of that, Kevin goes, I'm going to defend my sons by posting these videos on Instagram of Britney telling my sons to put on lotion and wear shoes. And the whole world woke up and went, oh, wow, Britney's a parent. And nobody cared. Or they were Team Britney. And then they go, okay, we're going to keep trying to get this interview going and now enter 60 Minutes Australia. And that's why we have this interview. So Britney says back on Instagram, tries to defend herself and says, you know what, this is upsetting, everything else. And now people are saying Britney's attacking her children. I don't really see it that way. I think Britney's been told for years what she can and cannot say. And she's had enough. And that's kind of why she made the post the other night, basically saying like, sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm talking now. I'm telling my story now. And I think she has every right to do that.
Yeah.
So it got so much more ugly because Kevin decided to bring the media into this. And that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this right now. It was Kevin's decision. It even says at the beginning of the interview that Kevin invited them into his home. That's not me speculating. That's what's said in the interview. She can't win. She can't win. What do you think, Steph?
This interview shouldn't have happened in the first place.
No. Nope.
It shouldn't have happened in the first place. This is absolutely awful. Earth Warren, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really, really appreciate your face with that. As I just sort that out. There we go. Sorry guys, just had to sort something out on my desk. That's now sorted. Right, so let's carry on then with this interview. So we're on 1447. Britney was upset, the programme says, and did not like Sean, Preston and Jayden's decision that they took, but she also hated Kevin for telling the world and exposing their private family moments and matters, even though he quickly took it all down. Here I assume that they're talking about the infamous Instagram uploads of Britney telling off her sons with what we've just explained there. Now, this is then where we'll get on to 1454, Kim.
Okay.
All right. We're going to play it from here. Jayden speaks again. So 3, 2, 1, play.
And to no one's surprise, they've both inherited a talent for music from their famous mum.
I want to figure out something that I can do in my future so I can pursue something just like she did. And she was super inspirational for me as when I was younger.
Well, both of them are really, really sweet kids. I mean, they're good human beings, which is always a pleasure to have.
Yeah, a pleasure to have, but you've robbed that pleasure for Britney as a mother. 70-30. Still to this day, 70-30. She's free of the conservatorship. What's wrong? What is wrong? The programme then goes on to explain that by stepping back into the public eye, Kevin has angered Britney's fans and a few A-list celebrities. Kevin's been questioned on why he's speaking publicly now and what he hopes to gain out of it, given what he says about there being nothing more important than the privacy of his family. It's like my criticism with Prince Harry and Meghan. They left the royal family because they wanted privacy. And what did they do when they leave the royal family? It want more privacy, let's put it that way, guys. Shiz the freaking bed. It was not more privacy. As we go through this interview, a little bit of screenshots. You know, we've got Nicki Minaj here with her infamous rant, which, guys, I'm for Queen Nicki on this one. Only cowards use the media against a famous person who they once loved and they procreated with. I believe you did a video, Kim, on this. So guys, if you want to see a little bit more analysis from our Britney historian resident, It's Kim, do go over to youtube.com/It's Kim. She did a breakdown analysis of what Nicki Minaj said about it all. Very, very interesting take. So please have a gander at that. And then if we go on to 16 minutes 2, Kim.
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
I want my sons to have the closest thing to a normal life that they can possibly have, because it'll make them better people.
Uh-huh. Can they have normal life?
I think it's possible. They see me, so they know that if they really want to get away, they know how to get away.
Hang on. They want a normal life. However, a normal life would include their mother being in their lives.
Yeah.
And that's not the case right now. Oh, you want them to have a normal life. Okay. But I don't think that includes inviting cameras in to do a tell-all interview that's going to be viewed around the world.
Yeah.
Oh, but your priority is to give your boys a normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What? And it does not answer why he's done this interview in the first place, why he's now started to speak out publicly. Don't answer that at all. Guess what? Apparently, Kevin Federline, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, allegedly, the reports are he got paid $2 million for this BS. Someone thought in the freaking TV interview industry that Kevin Federline, that this mess was worth $2 million freaking dollars. I wonder how much Team Con is getting out of that.
I don't know, but I hope they get their money back.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is defective. I want me money back now. This apparently is worth $2 million, allegedly. This interview. Hilarious. Going back to the interview. Again, just to recap, this is from an edited, transformed for fair use interview of the 60 Minutes Australia situation with Kevin Federline. So do bear that in mind. It is edited and transformative for fair use purposes. Here, the programme is explaining that Jayden and Sean Preston live relatively normal lives as teenagers, despite all the fame and drama surrounding them and their family. Well, they've been closed off from it pretty well. So, really, like, how much has it really affected them, I wonder. However, when their mother is one of the most famous faces in the world, they explain it's difficult to have normal lives, but there's no doubt Britney and Kevin want the very best for their boys. And then, as it then shows towards the end, I'm at 16:55, Kim.
Okay.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
If me, Britney was sitting here, what would you tell her?
I don't know. It's really, that's like the toughest, one of the toughest questions. You know, I try to think about that question.
I'm sorry, I should have helped you more.
So many mixed emotion.
I'm a failure.
In there, you know, the father in me, the ex-husband. You know, it's hard to like tie it all together because I would want to apologize and then give advice and then ask if there's any way I can help.
Want to apologise, give advice, and ask if he could help. Upon the question of what would you say to Britney now? Kim, what's going through your head right now?
My notes just say, Kevin says he would tell Britney he's sorry and wishes he could give advice and ask if he would help. And I say, Kevin, you could help by doing a Google search to understand what your ex-wife and the mother of your children was being put through. You could have helped by trying to support your own children. You could have helped by not defending the man that hurt your ex as well as your own son. We could start there.
Great places to start.
Yeah.
But how about this? Get on the damn phone, call Britney, tell her that yourself. I can certainly imagine, as the father of her 2 children, that it would be absolutely easy for him to get on phone and get through to Britney and speak to her, like, literally, like, over the phone, face to face, however they want to do it.
Yep.
So here's a radical idea. Do that! You absolute dumbass! Why do you think it's the greatest idea in the whole wide world to tell this to Britney via a freaking interview when you are getting paid allegedly $2 million to do that? Does it mean that you need to get paid $2 million every single time you need to actually address Britney Spears publicly, rather than you can actually do it privately for free? But guess what? Pinnacle Boozy Theory, whatever. When there's no money involved for Kevin Federline to move, he ain't going to move. And to be fair, looking at that fat backside, I can imagine it takes a lot of money for him to have to move that fat backside. A lot of money. A lot of money. But Earth Warren, thank you so much for the $20 super chat and your support for Andy. Says, where I'm from, you had no choice but to go to even if you didn't want to. But, where I'm from, you had no choice but to go, even if you didn't want to. He he said things that There's no other way to say it. He threatened to arrest me mum. I never wanted to go. Literally just had a pull-out mattress in my stepsister's room when he remarried. It's basically turning around, Earth Warren is turning around and saying, you know what? As a kid, even if I turn around and says I didn't want to see my mum, I was forced to go see her. Like, no, you don't have that choice. No, you still got to go see her. You still got to go see her. Go, 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 go. Well, yeah. What the deuce, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing, right? And that's really, really kind of grinding my gears. They're saying, no, it's the boys' choice that they don't want to go see their mum, this, that, and the other. Apart from turning around and saying that the rationale is because of her freaking Instagram pictures. Which, I mean, come on.
It's not.
And the Instagram videos that they leaked of a private thing between Britney and her boys when she's disciplining them. What real reason is there that they've decided not to see Britney? There's never once actually explained in this interview. Not once. Madonna's Globe, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate your face there. But as we wind down today's extra special pop culture justice stream, in the wake of this Britney Kevin Federline interview that's been now broadcast. Kim, what are your thoughts overall regarding this?
I'm saddened that the kids have gotten dragged into this mess. I think that's the biggest tragedy of this whole thing. When the media gets involved with Britney Spears, it's different than with other celebrities. It's relentless. It's dangerous. And I feel like the boys being put in this position have put them on the front lines. And that really, really upsets me. And I hope they're going to be okay. And I hope that Britney's going to be okay. I hope that this can be healed over time. And I just wish Kevin would shut up. It's just
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Be quiet. Don't say anything else. Just go back to, do you know what? I stepped away from limelight out of my altruistic needs, this, that, and the other for the boys. It was all altruistic. It was all for the boys. I stepped back from a glittering career. It was amazing, but I stepped back. You know what? Step back again. But instead of stepping back 5 steps, step back 10. Just step back 10 steps, right? Okay? Is that okay? I know 10 steps might be a bit difficult for you, you know, with everything that you're carrying at the moment physically, quite literally, on your body. But step back 10 steps. You might lose a little bit of weight in the meantime, but, you know, there's the, you know, multitasking here, okay? Step back 10 steps, right? And just don't do this again. Like, this is insane. Insane. The thing is, right, if he had spoken out publicly alone, would I be miffed? Yes. The reason why I'm super miffed is because he's involved the kids in this now. That's the bit where I'm turning around saying, dude, you've gone wrong there. Dude, you've done wrong. If they want to speak out, let them speak out when they're 18, when they're adults then at that point, and they can make their own decisions. He had to literally sign off for Jayden to be in that interview because he's a minor. You allowed that. How could you have done that? Jayden already has said that he is absolutely, he feels guilty about what he said publicly about Big Jamie a couple of years back. Well, a couple of years back, he said it was such conviction. Now he feels guilty. Today, he's now saying things about his mother with such conviction. What other guesses in a couple of years' time he's going to feel guilty about that as well? And be like, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. Now, it's not a case of Kevin should have kept quiet. Would it have been better for Britney? Of course it would have been. If he had spoken up without the kids, yeah, would I be miffed? Yeah. But I'm super miffed because he included the kids. When all along he's saying it's for the kids, protecting the kids, this, that, and the other. Well, you've just painted a target on them now. They are involved in this publicly. You've put their faces into this all. What the hell have you done? It's like Pandora's box. He's opened it now. You cannot close that box now.
Yep.
You've rung that bell. You cannot unring it. It's done. And everything that Britney has done to try and protect her kids from the media, from the paparazzi, it's all in vain. All of it's in vain. Everything she went through to protect those kids, all in vain. Despicable human waste of trash, garbage, idiot. I'd say more stronger things, but it's YouTube. But, you know, fill in the blanks. You're probably not far. You're not far wrong, guys.
Yeah.
Matt Bond, thank you so much for another $2 super chat. Saying, I hope Brits boys get in touch with Taj and MJ's kids.
Yeah.
That would certainly be an interesting conversation. Definitely. With that being said, guys, we are going to wind down this stream at this point. For anyone that wants to watch what we were showing you, if you want to watch the edited and transformative for fair use K-Fed 60 Minutes Australia interview, I'm just putting the link in the chat right now. So you can watch it for yourselves uninterrupted and go from there. In the meantime, if you loved what was coming out of Kim's gob, and guys, my logic is undeniable. Of course you freaking did. Then head on over to youtube.com/It's Kim for all your pop culture obsessions. Kim, what are they to expect when they come to your corner of the internet?
Well, I cover a lot of Britney stuff. I'm a little bit obsessed. So I try to talk about things that are going on with Britney, but also within context. I think there's a lot of channels when they talk about Britney, they talk about just the immediate what's going on, but they miss the almost 15-year background sometimes of what should be factored into these conversations. And I try to make sure that that's all there. Last video I did a breakdown of the 22-minute audio that she put out, kind of just discussing that and putting things into context. As well, I also love to do deep dive videos into things that I'm a little bit obsessed with. They're my hyper focus obsessions, and you're welcome to check those out as well. So it's not all just Britney content, but I do love my Brit. So
yay! And there's the Nicki Minaj video that I was referencing earlier on. No, that was a fire video, to be fair, hun.
Oh, thank you.
My advice, Kim. Guys, a little bit of background. YouTube discussions that you're now going to be privy to. So listen up, because this is advice to all of you. You know, when you're doing standalone videos, try and do them for 8 minutes. When you get them to 8 minutes, it means then you then have the choice to put the ads in or not.
Yeah.
And that's for everyone out there. If you've got a YouTube channel and you're new to the monetization for YouTube, or your next level YouTube legit, whenever you do a standalone video, you can put ads in, but only if the video is like 8 minutes plus long. So that's a little bit of advice for everyone that either has a channel or is wanting to maybe start a channel themselves. Also, as well, if you liked what I was coming out with my gob, and again, why wouldn't you? Because my logic is definitely undeniable. Then to make sure you head over to my channel, youtube.com/Steph the Alter Nerd, where basically I'm your nerdy alternative to news and pop culture stories served with a lot of sass and gobbiness. Basically all of this, guys. I give it to you 100. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm just going to tell you as it is. Of course, you can go onto my channel and see the full Kevin Federline 60 Minutes interview that is edited and transformative for fair use. So you can see that. I've also recently been reporting on the Kevin Federline situation because it's been absolutely ridiculous. Earlier on this week, Meghan was branded a diva, tosser, and a liar. What the hell was going on there? Well, you can find out all about that. Also, as well, digging into the Marilyn Manson situation. I'm at the moment researching into this FBI letter that Evan Rachel Wood had used. There's allegations that FBI letter that she used is a fake. Yeah, and that has far-reaching implications and consequences and complications for everything involved. So that actually, that video will actually be released sometime next week. So do stay tuned with that as you essentially follow me in my adventure of learning a little bit more about the Marilyn Manson case. And for me to actually decide as I go along, do I believe Marilyn Manson or do I believe Evan Rachel Wood, or is it a little bit of both kind of situation going on? I'm still undecided. I'm not too sure. So you get to go along with that journey with me. I'm less than 100 away from hitting 43,000 subscribers. So I'd really, really appreciate it if you can help me get there today. Do so by going via the link that I'm just sending you out right now. Which is the video that I've been referencing all along, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. But for this channel, guys, if you are watching live or on the replay and you haven't done so already, dudes, for your daily pop culture justice, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, share, comment down below, let us know how we've done today. And if you want extra content, bonus material from Andy Signor himself, and of course you do, consider becoming a Popcorn Planeteer for as little as $5.99 per month. But with that being said, this is the end of the stream. Kim, do you have anything else you want to add or say before we go?
No, just thank you everybody for being here. We appreciate you guys hearing us out. Go check out the interview yourself if you want to, and hopefully we'll see you guys again.
Yeah, we will see you again, and it will be tomorrow on Pop Culture, for Pop Culture Justice on Popcorn Planet. It will be myself again that will be Master of Ceremonies because Andy is away on holiday. So join me tomorrow on this channel around about 8 o'clock UK time for your daily Pop Culture Justice. But with that being said, yes, thank you to everyone that joined us today, that commented, liked this video, and supported Andy whilst he was away with your absolutely generous super chats. Really appreciate your faces. But this is the end of the stream. So again, thank you so much for your support, you guys. We will see you tomorrow. Later.